morning, Lowlifes. It's your boy Rhino.
Good
And
morning, bastards.
my boy and your boy, Eldano.
Hi.
Oi, oi. I should be saying oi, oi. I'm an oi boy.
Fucking right you are.
I'm an oi boy now.
That's right. I was just adding more to my playlist as we speak. I think I'm up to like 70 something now.
Yeah, I did. I'm going to need that link for tomorrow so we can post them.
Yes, sir. It'll be done by tonight.
It better be.
Boss.
Or you get a 0 for the whole semester.
Shit.
I remember that shit. Like teachers threatening you and shit.
You're not going to be on a roll.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll go, fuck.
nope.
But yeah, as you're listening to this, as we're probably going to be listening to this on our way to Ohio, the great city of Mansfield.
Yeah, buddy.
Dude, that I had a lot of people hit me up. That hotel that we booked is going to be bumping with Lowlifes, dude.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, dude.
That's
a
cool.
lot of dudes hit me up and were like, thanks for the tip for the $50 hotel.
Hell fucking yeah, dude.
Yeah, so it's
The
going to be
staffing
fucking
cabin.
Lowlife Central, dude, in Mansfield.
Cool. Sounds good, but we can all rendezvous there or fucking whatever. Go party in somebody else's room because I'm in bed by 10.
Yeah, dude, I don't think the rooms are like that big.
No, I
I
doubt
don't
it.
think you can fit that many people in it.
You can party in the parking lot.
Yeah, I was getting a little excited, but also just like got to figure out. I didn't really plan anything yet, you know, like with the kids are still in school, shit like that. So
Yeah.
I got to work on I got to figure that shit out. But yeah, I was talking to Fish called me yesterday or something, and he's got a little convoy going down too. And
Yeah.
we're probably going to be leaving around the same time out of Manchester,
Yep.
so that'll be cool.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's a bunch of us heading out. I'm really excited. I don't know.
Do you have your garage door open?
Why, can you hear the lawnmower?
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
Is that your neighbor?
Yeah, it's my neighbor. All
Yeah,
right.
that's fine. No, it's okay. It's fine.
All right.
The fucking lawnmower in the
close
background. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Hey, Ray, stop cutting your grass.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I can close. I have the door in the paint booth, and I have the door in the paint booth open, and the garage door's cracked because I literally just finished clear coating Billy's tins. So like
Okay.
there's still clear coat in here. So I'm trying to get that out.
That's why you're talking a little loopy.
Yeah, dude. I'm probably a little high. So I've got as much airflow as I can. I had my fan on to try and push some of it away, but then
Then I was like, hey, can you turn that fan off? Just die slowly of cancer, because our loyal Lowlife listeners don't want to hear ambient noise.
Yeah. Sorry. It is what it is.
It is what it is. It's definitely not the worst audio this show's ever seen.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, so super stoked party at the Pen. A lot of homies going, a lot of dudes I see that I definitely want to meet are going out there.
Yep.
Hopefully my motherfucking bike runs. Dude, last week I told you that a bunch of shit broke, right? Like the fucking, like, carb popped off and this and that. Dude, my braking, both my clutch, so I got those clutch perches, one for the remote master cylinder and then one for my clutch. They both broke today. Yeah, the aluminum cracked.
Ow, what
like
the
where the clutch cable like seats into it, the bottom's cracked off.
Huh.
So that fucking sucked.
Did you get the cheapos, or are they like name brand?
They were like $20.
Oh, okay. Well,
You get what you pay for.
you get what you pay for.
But dude, it's like, then I was like, oh fuck, dude, like what am I gonna, I'm not gonna get the same thing again, right?
Right.
You know, fool me once, shame on you.
Mm-hmm.
Fool me twice. If you fool me, you can't fool me again. So
Okay.
I actually, the first, I had to put on some fucking, some OEM parts.
Oh, okay.
They're
So
ungodly. They're disgusting, dude.
at least you had some backups, though.
Yeah, but I couldn't get the remote master. I have to make some more I have to do a little bit more fab on that to make it work right. So I'm gonna scrap that for now, and I just put a fucking huge OEM master cylinder on there that makes me want to fucking puke. And then same with the clutch perches. So doesn't matter which way I look, I'm puking, and they match. So
Yeah.
yeah, that sucked. That sucked big time. But luckily, I have just probably 7 motorcycles worth of parts laying around. I chopped up like 7 different clutch cables and this and that. So I just want to get it. I mean, I actually took it on the road yesterday, and I have to make a bunch of adjustments. It's just not comfortable to ride. Like, one thing I did wrong was I had those dog bones, and they were pointing. You know, they were pulled back at me.
Yeah.
And then I have like those narrow apes, dude. So I'm like this. I'm like trying to steer, like, and it's in my face. So I have to flip those bitches around. Now it's touching the fucking headlight. So now I have to redo the headlight mount.
Ugh.
Yeah. So you fix one problem, you create 2 more.
Yep.
So
Yeah, dude, that's the way it goes. Evo is no closer to being a running riding bike. I got to take the carb off of that and go through it. And did all the timing and shit the other day. Know the timing's good, and still, once in 30 kicks it'll kick over, and that's it. So,
did you end up putting the electronic one in?
No, I didn't end up doing it because I was able to verify. I did all the checks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The timing was Gucci on this one, so. Yeah, I mean, it's doing what it's supposed to be doing, but it's still the one thing I'm noticing when I really, if I've been trying for a while to kick it over and I pull the plugs, they're soaked with fuel. And I'm not giving it fuel every single time I kick it, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of that first blip, and then whatever it's getting in the course of trying to start, and it's igniting a little bit. There's a little bit of white smoke coming out, but it's a pain in the ass. Either way, I've decided.
And you said it was kind of ignited up by the carb.
It seems like it's farting through the carb. Yeah, there was a couple times where it backfired so loud my wife ran out and thought something happened. Like, it was really loud.
That was happening when I had the Super E with the velocity stack. It would do that, and it would shoot a fireball out of the velocity stack.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm leaning toward carb issue, probably too much fuel. The plugs that I took out of the motor originally after I bought it were pretty rich.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start with the carb, and hopefully that's all it is. I know it's turning the motor over. I know it's got good compression, and I know it's getting spark. So it's probably just drowning itself in fuel, hopefully.
Yep.
But I've decided I'm taking the scythe out to Ohio anyways. So as you're listening to this, it'll be in the back of the truck with Rhino's bike. I will have a little for sale sign on it or whatever with my cell phone number on it. So if you're out in Ohio, Party of the Pen, shoot me a text if you're interested in buying it.
Have you gotten any nibbles, any interested parties yet?
I had some people reach out, but it's kind of a lot of like, oh man, wish I could afford it. And I know, me too.
Did you put it on Marketplace yet?
No, I'm honestly, I'm trying to avoid that at all costs. I know I'm not in a position to really fuck with that, and I just need to sell it, but I want to ride it for a little bit while I'm out there. I'm not quite ready to get rid of it this very second, so I'm gonna bring it out there. If something hits and I come home without a motorcycle and a wad of cash, then cool, that works for me. And then that's just that much more. The Evo is in the hill climb show, the Deadbeat Hill Climb show, so it has to be running well enough to get there. So
yeah, it's coming up quick too.
That is also coming up quick. So basically, as soon as we get back from Party at the Pen, it's crunch time to get that motherfucker running. So
yeah, because that's the next week. Well, it starts the next week. That Saturday, right? Bike week.
The hill climb show is the 18th, and we get back the 10th. So yeah, the week following. Yeah, shit. Well, yeah, 1 week, but that's not too bad. I'll get a rebuild kit coming and some jet. I think I have some jets. I have to verify that for sure. But it's been real hard to get some time out here lately. It's been real tough. Been a lot going on. So,
bro, I was actually going to ask you if you had an extra set of like hand controls, like clutch and master cylinder kicking around that are decent.
Let me look.
because they're so fucking expensive, dude. For like a set of cool ones, $500.
Yeah.
For a
Yeah.
set of like super lame ones from Drag Specialties, 250.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, dude. We just went through that on the panhead shit over the winter, trying to get some nice ones, and we got a hydraulic clutch, and obviously the dual disc front
Oh yeah,
brakes.
you have the PM master on that, right?
Yeah, we ended up finding the PM stuff on eBay. I think Alex found it on eBay, and we got a pretty good deal on that. We're really only using the hand controls, unfortunately. So I have some foot controls, but I don't have any. Like I have the foot brake pedal for a big twin, and the master cylinder that comes with it. So I don't have anything front brake part that I am aware of. But let me see what I have for purchase. I might have a couple laying around down in the basement.
Yeah, just let me know if you have anything that you can live without. I put these. I haven't seen OEM like hand controls in a long time because I usually just take them off and throw them in the garbage. But
Right.
holy shit, dude, they are ugly as fuck, dude.
Yeah, big and clunky.
Yeah, they're huge. They're
Yeah.
fucking massive, dude. So
Yeah, for sure.
I might not even. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I just want to ride the fucking thing. So I figure if I get them on, at least I can ride it, and then squirrel away a few quarters, and maybe I'll be able to afford a decent set, or I can get that the remote master working again.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was so lame, dude. This is why I need an AC TIG machine.
Yeah.
For aluminum, because I would have just, I'm like, what am I going to do? Put JB Weld on it?
Fuck.
I don't trust that.
Yeah, no. Not with your brake. I mean,
Or even the clutch side. And it broke in the same spot.
No, that's not going to hold, man. There's too much tension behind those.
Yeah, because and that's what happened was, like on the brake side, basically I have a clutch cable that comes off that brake to actuate the remote master.
Yeah.
And I was bleeding the brakes. And it was kind of oriented, pointing down because I routed it a certain way, So as I was squeezing on that shit, it was just putting tension on it every time I squeezed it. Same thing with the clutch side,
Yeah.
I didn't give it enough slack. So I guess it's my own fault, but I did invent a new tool.
Yeah, do tell.
For brake bleeding. So we were talking about this the other day, or a couple weeks ago or whatever. Bleeding brakes just fucking sucks ass. And someone actually hit us up on Spotify, and they were like, "Hey, have you ever tried reverse bleeding?" And I have, with mixed results, but I did do that on the Softail, and it worked really good. So reverse bleeding, for those that don't know, you basically have a big syringe with brake fluid in it, and instead of filling up a reservoir and pumping your brake fluid down and draining it out of the bleeder valve, you inject it into the bleeder valve. And it works really great because it pushes all the air up to wherever it's going, right? So like you're not fighting gravity. The bubbles want to go up, so when you're putting, you're trying to fucking force them down, and they're trying to go up. So reverse bleeding works really great. Sometimes you take a face full of fucking .4 though, if you don't have it like loose enough or it's squirting out of the threads or some shit. But then I was like, I have one of those vacuum pumps, like the Mighty Vac, where you pump it with your fucking hand, and if you bleed your brakes that way, it's very inefficient. Like your hand gets tired, just constantly pump, 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 and then as you're pumping it, the fucking tube pops off. It's just a pain in the ass. So what I did is I bought a small vacuum unit like this. It's like that big.
Okay.
And I got some tubing and just like with the Mighty Vac pump, it's like the tubing goes into the cap, and then you have the bottle. So I just put this vacuum pump, I put it on the bleeder valve, right? Just like you would, like with a hand pump, like a hand vacuum, but you just flip it on, and it just goes. So you fill up the reservoir, and then you just crack it, and it sucks it out, and you can see your reservoir go down because it's actively sucking it out. It's not just gravity, right? And
Right.
it's not a fucking hand pump. And then it's so lightweight. You just sit there, you crack it, make sure your reservoir is always filled. In fact, I have one of those things that you can use for gas. You know, it has a little petcock on it. I just filled that up with brake fluid, flipped on the switch, and cracked it, and it just bleeds through and it just goes into that bottle until no air comes out.
That's sick,
No
man.
stopping and pumping. Yeah, super cheap. I was thinking about selling it as a kit.
There
It
are
works so fucking good.
there are vacuum pump operated bleeders out there, but yeah, I mean that's
I could not find one, dude.
really. I know
An electric
Snap-on
one.
has some shit.
I've
Yeah.
seen pneumatic ones,
Mhm.
and those are like huge, dude. They're typical. Like I see those a lot for like cars,
Yeah.
but I have not seen a vacuum like a small vacuum pump that's electric.
Yeah, dude, making a kit.
So anybody has seen one that's out there on the market, let me know.
Yeah.
I think I found one, and it's pretty expensive.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a hot tip.
So I don't know. Um. All right. So we already covered Party at the Penn East, June 7th and 8th at Shawshank Prison. We're gonna be there, I guess, Friday through Monday, but we're gonna be there all day Saturday, all day Sunday.
Yep.
We got the Yad passes, so I'm assuming we're gonna be up early, and they have some after parties. Sound pretty dope.
Yep.
So we're gonna be out there partying. We got the whole fucking New England crew going, dude. A lot of New England homies, and a lot of motherfucking low lives. And if you're feeling a little spicy, stop by our $50 hotel and
Yeah.
see what fucking cracktivities are going on over there. I'm sure there's some
Like
shit
that.
going on behind the dumpsters and stuff. Um,
Yeah.
our Reviver show, we don't have a date yet. It's been postponed. I haven't even had a chance to think about it, honestly. I've
Same.
just been like heads down, working on this bike, working on fucking a million other things I have going on. But we're gonna get a date to do something. We don't know. So that's your update. No news.
Nope.
Although we did see that the Easy Time show, RIP, is not happening. So that gives us an opening maybe that weekend in July or something.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping.
We'll just set up at Ralph's Diner. We'll just do the Easy Time show.
Everybody just show up anyways.
That'd be funny. They would be so pissed.
I don't know. I think John and Craig would be like,
They
fucking
would
good.
probably think it was funny.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe we do that. Maybe we just go, hey, we'll pick up the torch. We'll just spell easy differently, like the correct way with an S. But it's always nice weather at Ralph's on that day. It's always the hottest day of the summer in that
Yeah, I was
parking
gonna
lot.
say, it's oppressive weather. I don't know if nice
Yeah.
is the right word.
Yeah. I love it though, dude. I love it when it's hot and uncomfortable like that.
Yeah, same.
I don't give a fuck, dude. I like sweating it out, being on the verge of like, sun poisoning.
Heat stroke. Yeah.
The other show that we got to announce, or not announce, but just remind you to go to is the Deadbeat Retreat, the unofficial Lowlife show. It's been a part of this show, as big a part of the show as any show. It's the New England, camp out. It's one of the only things like it, right? It's not like a bike show. They have bikes there, but it's about going camping and partying. And we're going to be doing a belly flop competition. I actually saw an ad for the Deadbeat Retreat, and heavily featured in the ad was the belly flop competition
Cool.
because it's so goddamn fun. You got grown ass people doing belly flops, and that's what the Deadbeat Retreat is really about: is acting the fool, acting like a kid, just having fun. And that's what we're going to be doing there. So yeah, that's at the Blackthorn Resort, August 22nd through whatever. I don't know. That's a Friday, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
I can
22
write
through
the dates.
24.
22nd, 23rd, 24th.
Yeah.
All right.
One more.
Which one?
You there? Oh, I thought I lost you there for a second. There's one more I just wanted to put out. It's actually happening when you're listening to this. It's going to be happening in 2 days, June 8th. Queen City Motorcycle Meet. It's at Backyard Brewery, which is a really nice spot down the road here in Manchester. It is in support of the Manchester Firemen's Relief. 50/50 raffle, bike contest, food, drinks, music, and more. Unfortunately, we won't be there because we'll be in Ohio. But if we were here, we would most definitely be set up at that. So if you're sticking around the area this weekend and you got nothing going on, bring your bike over there June 8th and support.
Who's putting that on?
I
Anyone we
saw
know?
it from Ken Martin. He put it out, and I believe he is a Manchester firefighter. So I'm assuming, I haven't talked to him about logistics or anything like that, but we should definitely. I'll touch base with him and see how it went. I reached out and said, "Man, I'm so sorry we won't be able to make it, but I would totally be there if not." It's right down the road from my house, so very cool. I hope it happens again. But yeah, if you're around and you're not out in Ohio this weekend, go stop by.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh fuck, I would have 100% been at that.
For sure. Yeah.
Anything local like that, 100%.
Yep.
That's a cool place too, the backyard.
Yeah, nice spot. That's a perfect place for a show. Absolutely perfect. There's a gigantic freaking.
It's fucking huge.
Lot. Yeah. So it's a good idea.
Yeah. We should steal that idea. No.
It's not really a very picturesque area around there per se, but
yeah, it's not. Inside is nice though, and it's big.
For sure.
They got like pool tables and shit.
For sure.
Staff is friendly.
Cool. Yep. So yeah, go check that out.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and let's get Swiss on.
Excited about this one.
And yeah, so we are going to be talking to Swiss Cheeks. He's I mean, we've chatted over the years. I guess I knew he was from New England, but I was talking to him like a couple weeks ago or something. And I didn't realize that he's actually from like New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
He has a 603 number, dude.
Oh yeah.
And now he's in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, he's New Hampshire through and through, though, for sure.
Yeah. He used to work at fucking Pat's Peak.
Yeah.
Over by my house.
Yep.
So we're like, fucking, we got time. We got time to talk to an old fucking New Hampshireite, dude.
Yeah, for sure. Not for nothing, too. Just outside of that, he's a legend, man. If you've ever been to Mama Tried or any of that stuff, he's out there. He's a big part of all that stuff. He's been around the game for a long time. Go on his Instagram and scroll back. Like, he's been in it for a long time. It's a super positive dude. I'm excited for this one. He's into music, like alternative music and shit. You know what I mean? Like hardcore and stuff. Been in bands, touring bands, all that stuff. This is going to be a good one. I hope you guys are excited for it. He's the perfect embodiment of the two kind of things we're trying to put together.
Yeah. Hopefully it's a good episode because we're going to be listening to this on the way down to Ohio. We got 12 hours to go. The way that you drive, though, I bet we get there in 10.
Well, it says 10 and a half from here. I checked again today. So
yeah, I bet you get there in 10.
It depends on how long you can hold your piss. Because I can hold it the whole time.
Dude, I only drink stuff on the road so I can piss in the can and throw it out.
I'm so excited about this road trip, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It's been I can't remember the last road trip I went on that was this long.
I don't know that I've ever done a real road trip. Like
I'm actually going to bring my piss jug. It's a great idea, Ryan.
Yeah, we're going to need piss jugs.
Yeah. I have the one that I use for the show. Like, when I first started doing this, I was just pissing and refilling up the same cans that I drank.
Oh, my God.
And if you go back to Evo Jesus's episode, the one that we did with him, the Treybark Assassin, he caught me because I didn't mute my mic.
I remember that.
Now I'm an old salt now, man. You can't. I'm pissing right now. I do it silently. Like I do it like I do in the middle of the night, so I don't wake up the kids.
Nice. Your old man piss.
All right, we are joined with Daniel Swislowski.
Holy shit, you got it right.
First try.
Nice.
I was always wondering where
Most of my
the go for it.
yeah, that's where the Swiss comes from.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't know until you put your full, Christian
Yeah.
name there or whatever. That I was always like, what's
Yeah,
Swiss cheeks?
Well, the Swiss obviously is my last name. The Cheeks comes from 2011 Warped Tour, a bus party that involved people bringing dildos onto the bus, and I'll leave it at that. And then the VIP manager for the tour stole my phone and changed my handle on Instagram to Swiss Cheeks, and I never changed it.
That's funny.
But now I get a mix of people that call me Swiss and a mix of people that call me Cheeks. So I answer to whatever.
Well, yeah, that's a great story because
Yeah.
you don't get to choose your nickname. You don't get to choose your nickname.
Yeah.
No, it's given to you. Like even Swiss, I didn't get called that till my high school music teacher, because we had in the high school band we had like 15 or 20 Dans in the high school band. So he's just like, "You're just Swiss." Like, all right, that works.
Yeah, dude, I didn't know that I was going to be in a Dan sandwich tonight.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Hey, it's a good name.
Right.
That's a good band name,
Oh,
Dan
man.
Sandwich. You guys should do
Dan
a
Sandwich.
collab.
Oh, dude, what's that? There's one of those. There's one of those kind of like parody songs about a dude named Dan. Fish sent it to me. I'll have to look it up, and I'll let you guys know. It's wicked funny. Super
Yeah, people,
entertaining story.
People always send me Ryan memes, trashing Ryans, because I'm a proud Ryan,
Yeah.
and not everybody thinks that way. I think that they're jealous. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just
Ryan is a solid name, and it's a masculine name, so I can see people being extremely jealous of it.
yeah, Dan is a great name though because it rhymes with so many things.
Yeah.
Man,
And you can
can,
use it.
flan.
Plan.
I think it's flan, but
Yeah.
that, and you can't. Anybody's ever been named Dan, at some point gets sick of just the go-to Dan the Man.
yeah,
Yeah, Dan
At
the
some
man.
point, every Dan in their life has been called Dan the Man.
majority of my life.
Unavoidable.
Yep.
Have you seen the meme though, where it says, "So frustrating meeting a Dan who isn't the man," or something like that?
I mean, we're the only ones that can truly get away with just wearing a T-shirt that just says "I'm the man."
True.
Bro. I like that. Well, I like my Dan's. I like a nice short name like that.
Yeah.
One syllable, dude.
Easy to remember.
Yeah. So where
Yeah, you got-
where
Then
where
get
did
all
you
these
say
people- Oh,
Oh no. Hey guys,
Sorry, go
just a little disclosure here. There is a little bit of a delay that you're going to have to suffer through. There's nothing we can do. We don't invent the internet. I have no control over that, okay? So we're going to do our best to not talk over each other, but there is a slight delay and you're just going to have to stomach it. I'm going to try to edit out as much as I can, but where are you? You're in Pennsylvania. You said you're somewhere very rural?
yeah, I'm in Wellsboro, Pennsylvania, which is north central on the New York border. So I'm 4 hours from Philly, 4 hours from Pittsburgh, 4 hours from New York City, 3.5 hours from Baltimore, but 2.5 hours from Buffalo.
Oh fuck.
Oh, okay.
Nothing really close,
How'd you end up there?
but my job. I've worked for the same tour bus company for 13 years now, and they're based out of here. When I started working for them, I was living in Springfield, Mass. So I used to work for a management company out of there back when I used to tour manage. Then still lived there when I first started bus driving. Then when I got offered the job here, my boss has a apartment in his old house, and I now rent the whole house. He had an apartment in the basement, so that opened up, and it's like, well, instead of driving back and forth to Massachusetts between tours, I could just come home and be home. So it was just pure convenience at the time. So
So
that's how I ended up here.
tour company. What do you got? Tour like band tours specifically, or all kinds
Yeah.
of different tours?
Yeah, I'd say 95% of the business is bands. Then everything else is like we've done Broadway shows, Disney on Ice type shit. For a couple of years, we did the Bluey's Big Play. So if you have kids, you probably know what Bluey is.
Yep.
We had the buses on the Bluey's Big Play tour.
Yeah, that was
cool.
a sad story. I just actually, I think I was reading it this morning, or I saw a video on it about the Blues Clues guy. He retired because he went bald.
Who, Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. He went.
Yeah.
He was balding, and he was like, "I can't do this. I can't do this to these kids." I think I shed a
can't
single
appeal to
tear,
a kid
dude.
when you're an old man.
Yeah, so sad.
Yeah.
Male pattern baldness, guys, is real. Talk to your homies about it. All right. Oh fuck!
I got it.
I was just gonna say like you're like because you got a wild mane of hair there,
Oh yeah,
but it's only when the cap's on.
yeah.
What the beard?
At work, it's
The beard is
Yep.
on point, dude.
Thank you.
That's the trade off.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of funny. I'm not the biggest fan of beards, but I hate shaving more, so I just deal with the beard. And when I was on the road all the time, I tried to keep my hair looking acceptable because, we're professional drivers. But then once I got off the road, I'm like, I really could care less about getting a haircut, so every now and then I just trim it when it gets unruly and leave it alone.
So when you were driving the tour buses,
Yeah, I did. I spent 17 years total on the road. See if I can get it. There's one right there.
Sick.
what are some of the bands that you I guess drove the tour bus for? Of note.
Let's see. Of note, I drove AWOL Nation before they blew up huge. Driven Mickey Hart from the Grateful Dead. Did Circa Survive for about 5 years straight. Did Motionless in White for like 3 years. Did Say Anything.
No shit.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Say Anything was the last tour I did like full time on the road in 2017.
That's awesome.
Let's see, a group called Hot Tuna, which most people might not know them, but it's Jorma Kaukonen and Jack Cassidy, who are the original guitarist and bass player for Jefferson Airplane.
Oh.
So drove them a bunch. And at 83 or 84 years old, Jorma and Jack, I think's 81 or 82. They're still touring.
Holy
You know, they do 2-3 tours a year. Yep. Then, God, who else have I done? Kind of hard to remember. They keeps like every 4 to 6 weeks you switch to a new group, and it kind of another face in the crowd after a few years.
So it must be. I'm just speculating here, but you must see some crazy shit touring with those rock stars, right?
Yes and no. Like, it kind of, you got two ends of the spectrum of it. Majority of bands that we have are working class bands, so they're super serious on the road because they're like, that's how they make a living. They're not making enough to blow money and party all the time. So they take it pretty serious being out on the road. They still have fun, but, you know, their partying stays on the bus. They're not out going to bars and clubs after the show every night. But not to say that in my earlier days when I was a tour manager that I had two guys that had just gotten out of rehab clinics toss me a lot of cash and say, find us however much coke that'll buy us. So I've seen both ends. I did Mayhem Fest one year, and bus call, which is when everybody is getting on the bus ready to leave. I went on to a sponsor bus, which is one of the companies where they umbrella the whole tour with their big name. And I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but walk on, they got a chick bent over the, countertop in the front lounge, and they're all doing lines of coke off her ass.
Sick.
I'm like not talking like one guy, like I'm talking like 12, 15 people that ride on this bus, all just, you know, skiing the slopes, as you might say.
Hell yeah.
Oh Jesus.
But a majority of the groups I got were kind of laid back, not too much partying. But I did a Warp Tour for a bunch of years. I think I did it 8 years total. And that's where the chaos that I saw happen, because every night the show ends at like 8. We're leaving about midnight, so they're just hanging out in a parking lot for 4 hours every night. They'd always have a big barbecue for all the bands when everything's getting loaded out. So that's when those guys, there's nothing else to do in a parking lot but party. And see some stupid shit on that. This one I will say names. I got to see the singer of Mice and Men, Austin Carlisle, hammered off his ass. He was hooking up with the ex-girlfriend of the old bass player for A Day to Remember, and they just started brawling in the fucking parking lot. And nobody did a shit. They just stood back like, let them fight it out. We're going to watch.
No.
But the most notable one, where it's been long enough, you guys familiar with who Johnny Craig is?
Yep.
Yeah. Back, I'm not sure what he's doing now, but this was back when he was a total mess. And he just, on whatever, wandered around a parking lot. This would have been in San Diego, 2011. Yellow Wolf was on the tour, and Yellow Wolf got fed up with him and just confronted him at this after party and just fucking slapped the shit out of him. And everybody's just like, oh shit. And the next day, Warped Tour Productions like going around trying to find witnesses, and everybody's like, we didn't see a fucking thing. Nothing happened.
Oh,
Nope.
shit.
He fell over. Yeah.
Holy
I
shit.
figured that was 14 years ago. We can talk about that now.
Damn, guy. I'm
Nobody
gonna put
talks,
the
everybody
TMZ
walks.
logo up on this episode. We getting the T, boys. I like Yellow
Yeah.
Wolf. I'm glad he slapped the shit out of that guy.
Yeah,
I
yep.
don't know.
Yeah, he was a nuisance all around, but on that tour, to the people on the tour, Johnny Craig was a pretty big nuisance where he was going through shit. I get it. You know, he was just kind of a little too much for everybody to handle. So he got put in his place. He behaved pretty well after that for the rest of the tour. I think he's just afraid of getting the shit beat out of him again.
Yeah, it usually sucks to get the shit beaten out of you when you're acting like an asshole.
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
have the shame and the pain. You're like, I
Yep,
deserve
yep.
that, you know.
Yeah, I've done it.
Oh yeah. Dude, that's a fun job. It sounds like a fun job. Definitely an adventure. I mean, you get to see the whole country, and you get to. What are you doing? Do you get to go to the concerts and shit too? Or they're like you wait in the bus?
It's a Nope. So we operate under DOT regulations. So during the day, the drivers get their own hotel room, so they're away from the bus, away from the concert, get plenty of rest. Because we're like most tours, you're leaving 1, 2 in the morning to drive to the next city. So when the concert's going on, the bus driver should be sleeping. But if you got like 2 days in the same city, you don't got to move the bus. Drivers will go to the concerts, hang out, watch the show. You know, which sometimes I'd end up on tours where like, yeah, I want to catch at least one. Then other times I'm like, I could care less about the band, so I have no problem just chilling out my hotel room, staying away from everybody.
Yeah.
Which they take offense to that, where you want to be like, I think your music sucks, but you can't tell them that because they're your boss for the time you're on the road with them.
Yeah.
So
it's
you're
a
doing
"Nah,
like
I
third
just-"
shift, right? So like you're leaving,
Yeah.
and that's when you do the
Oh, yeah.
the most. So you're sleeping during the day, driving at night.
Yep, almost all the time. Few bands, if they got, short runs between every city, they'll drive during the day. Or if you're on a multi-bus tour and you got a band bus, you'll usually leave in the morning because they don't got to be there till the afternoon. The crew will get there in the morning to start, rigging the stage and such.
Yep.
But very rarely I did that. I was usually, band and crew on the bus, or I was driving a crew bus. Yeah, I think the only time I got to do a band bus was Bring Me the Horizon tour, which was awesome, but also kind of like I only had 7 people on my bus, so like easy peasy. But at the same time, when you got the band, you gotta cater to them a little bit. So extra stops, do the rock star treatment is what we call it. But they were great guys, so I didn't mind. Like, I heard horror stories about them. I got them on the bus. Was like, these guys are fucking amazing. Like, I had no problem with them.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So let's go way back because I want to like before. So you were in New England, so you're a New England boy.
Yep.
Did you grow up in New Hampshire, or did you grow up in Mass, or
Yep.
where?
No, I was born in Derry. We moved to Concord for a while, and then we moved to Warner after my mom married my little sister's father. And we were living in the Royal Gardens apartments, and back in the 80s, it was a shithole of a place to live and a shithole of a place to raise kids. So they bought some property up in Warner, and then we moved to Warner, lived up there pretty much, for the most part, lived there until I was about 27. You know, so I was on the road so much, I just left my stuff at my mom's house. But when I'd go home, I'd just couch surf on friends' apartments and houses till I finally was like, I gotta find my own place. That's when I moved to Springfield. But yeah, most of my life was, you know, New Hampshire. You know, graduated Kearsarge High School, went to college at NHTI, went back to school to New Hampshire Community Technical College out in Manchester, did their welding program. So,
Oh no shit.
a lot of cool, interesting things. Like, definitely miss it up there, but what I left is like definitely need to leave for a while.
Yeah.
That was one of the biggest reasons I went on the road, where I was just kind of sick of New Hampshire.
Yeah. How old were
get
you when you
that.
moved?
When I moved, it was 27.
27. Yeah. Yeah. New Hampshire is like growing up in New Hampshire. You're like, I can't wait to get the fuck out of this fucking place. But now that I'm
Yeah.
older, I really respect it because I'm,
Oh, yeah.
you know, it's definitely an old man's game up here. But
It is like growing up there. Like, we were in the woods on 10 acres. Our nearest closest neighbor was like a quarter mile down the road. You know, dirt road. We could ride dirt bikes up and down the road without issues. You know, we fucking 10 years old. We're cutting down trees and splitting wood for firewood in the winter. You know, 10 years old running chainsaws.
yeah,
So, but when you're growing up there, I don't think you get the appreciation for it until you get away from it for a while. You're like, damn, that was a good life.
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
we definitely an unconventional upbringing, but at the same time, it's like, well, it did shape me into who I am. So one of
how
those
did you
where
get in?
definitely need to get back up there.
How'd you get into I guess like riding and stuff? Because you said you had 10 acres. You had dirt bikes. Were you a dirt bike kid growing up?
I really wasn't. So when my mom and my little sister's father got divorced, she got his dirt bike in the divorce. So my oldest brother, you know, basically got that. And he ended up being pretty good on a dirt bike, and he got into the racing motocross. So he
fun.
found this like junk. Yeah, he got on this junkyard like KX80, and he's going out there and keeping up with like, you know, people on 125. So this is when everything was two-stroke back in, you know, the 90s. You know, so they got him my mother got him I think it was a CR 125, and he fell in love with Hondas after that. And he did pretty good, you know, out throughout New England. I think he raced Southwick a bunch of times, but didn't really leave New England too much. Just, you know, back then it was, you know, hard to get recognized because everybody in rural areas raced dirt bikes in one fashion or another. Yeah, but, you know, I'd play around on them. I was just, you know, the scrawny kid. I, you know, could ride, but I was afraid of jumping. You know, falling down was not my friend. You know, I was kind of the wimp of the family back then. But definitely fell in love with dirt bikes back then and motorcycles. So when I was 15, I got a trashed, it was an 82 Kawasaki LTD 440. And that's also how I learned how to work on motorcycles. So it turned over but didn't run, so I learned how to, you know, repair point systems, get the bike running, you know, had to fix the exhaust, tires, all that, you know, stuff to make it street legal. You know, then that's what I ended up taking when I turned 16. Back then, you had to wait 6 months after you got your regular driver's license to be able to apply for anything else. So it was April of the following year after I got my license, I went it took me 2 tries. Like, I wasn't the one-hit wonder, but second try, passed the test, riding test, got my motorcycle license. And it was funny because back then at the high school I went to, you were not cool in high school rolling up on an 82 Kawasaki. You know, I was still called the loser. I was still made fun of because, like, the seat was duct tape. You know, we're one of those, like, German half helmets. Thought I was cool. Realized now, like, I was cool in my own right, but not cool. And that just that's where it all kind of blossomed from. So when I graduated college from NHTI, my gift to myself is I went and bought a Buell Blast. So little single cylinder 500. And I rode that thing for fucking ever. Yeah, I think I had that for 7-8 years. Then I graduated from that up to an Electroglide. So did a pretty big jump with that one.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit.
But great bike though.
That's cool though. So you started wrenching in high school though. Like you had that that fucking that's a good time to pick up new things. I mean, obviously you don't have a hell of a lot of money. I remember when I was fucking 15, dude, I had $0. I was probably working at fucking Shaw's shagging carts, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For minimum wage.
Good old Shaw's. Yeah.
Shaw's in Derry.
I was working in Derry. Nice.
Yeah.
That sweet Derriere.
Oh yeah.
Derriere. Yeah, dude. I still go to Shaw's. I think Shaw's is the shit, dude. I grew up on Shaw's. My parents went to Shaw's. It's the only one that's close to my house, but they had the cookie club. You go there, get a free cookie.
Yep. Yeah, in Warner we had a Market Basket,
which used to be shitty, right? Like Market Basket now is like the tits, but dude, back in the day, it was like the shitty grocery store.
Yeah, it was where the broke folk went.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah, my dad used to go there, and they had all sorts of weird, gross, cheap things, like those little pies, the little individual pies.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I fucking hated those
pies.
things. Yeah, tabletop. Oh, dude, they're so gross.
Yep.
It's like all filling.
Yep.
No shit, dude.
Yep. But yeah, back then, I was working at McDonald's, so not like I was rolling in bucks, so it was, pinching every penny I could to make things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, fuck McDonald's, dude. My kids love that shit. So fucking expensive, dude. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I have 3 kids. It cost me like $40 to go to McDonald's for them.
Oh yeah.
Stupid.
Yep. Dude, I remember McDonald's was like a huge treat for us growing up, and it was like back when you could feed a family for like $10-15.
Yeah.
A bunch of just cheeseburgers and small fries. Now it's like, oh yeah, for 2 people, you're spending at least $20-30.
Dude, you used to get a cheeseburger for fucking 59 cents,
Yep.
Small fry, that'll feed a kid, Now it's like, dude.
Oh yeah.
You're paying for fast food for like a burger for what the fuck am I paying for?
Yeah.
Do you remember Big Breakfast? Big Breakfast?
Yep, the Big Breakfast.
Dude, that was
the eggs,
shit.
Bacon, flapjacks.
Yeah, and it came in a styrofoam tray. That was my shit, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, we'd go like 3 times a year, as on special occasions, and we'd get the Big Breakfast. And my dad would always bitch because it was more expensive than like just getting the little sandwich, and we just used to assemble a sandwich anyways.
You put the eggs and the bacon on between the pancakes, and you dip it in the syrup, and you got a sandwich.
Oh, there you go, dude. Do they make I don't know if they make Big Breakfast anymore. I'm sure it's not served in a styrofoam tray, though. Positive of that.
Be a lot cooler if it was.
I know, dude. I'd get one. And then I'd feed the styrofoam tray to a fucking bird. So you you still have a 603 number after all these years. You won't get rid of it.
Yeah.
You got granite flowing through your veins.
Yeah. Dude, it's kind of fame. I got the live free or die tattoos. I got 603 down one of my shins. Yeah, I run 603 for my race numbers on my flat track bike and my mini bike. So,
fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's deeply ingrained in me. Like I
Yeah.
saw the old man of the mountain before it fell down. So
Yeah.
I
That's OG
didn't.
shit.
I didn't. I
Yeah.
moved
You
here
didn't?
the summer that it fell. I moved here like 2 weeks after it fell.
Oh fuck, dude.
that that sucks, but that's excusable. It's sad when you got people that have lived there their entire lives and lived there for like decades before it fell, and they're like, "Oh, I never went."
That's
It's like
crazy.
you can't say, yeah, if you were around back then and you didn't do it, I don't think you're allowed to say you're from New Hampshire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
dude.
crazy, man. Just
That's
to,
we used
if
to
you
just
lived here that long and you haven't gone to the Notch, you're fucking up because the Notch
Oh,
is
dude.
one of my favorite
Yeah.
places in the world.
That's what you would do.
Yeah.
You would drive fucking an hour and a half. And here's another New Hampshire thing: going up north. Like
Yep.
because everybody lives in like southern New Hampshire, so you're like, yeah, we're going up north. Like, but nobody's going to anywhere north of like the old man of the mountain, the White Mountains or whatever.
No.
But
Oh.
yeah, I remember I was in Florida when it fell, and I was fucking like sad, dude.
I was heartbroken.
Yeah,
Like,
we
that
still
was
have
a
it on everything
summertime
too.
staple.
It's on our license plate. It's on the fucking. It's
Driver's
everywhere.
license, everything.
Yeah. They should rebuild it.
Mm.
I was pissed that they didn't
should
rebuild it.
If
We
they
have
can
the
make Mount
technology.
Rushmore,
Yeah, they could recreate it.
they can do another old man. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, now they just have some stupid fucking thing that you look through and it shows you like it superimposes his face on the mountain or something. You pay like probably $5 in quarters to look through one of those like binocular
Yeah.
machines or whatever.
Yeah.
Then you line it up. It's fucking stupid. Rebuild the fucking thing. I don't care. Jack up my
Yeah.
taxes. I want to see the old man on the mountain again.
I just went through
Hashtag
there
rebuild
the
the
other
old
day
man on
for
the
work.
mountain.
I was up at Lancaster for work the other day, and any day I get to go up through the Notch for work is a good day. I
Yeah.
fucking love it
Paradise
up
up there.
there. Oh, it's so beautiful.
Well,
It's
like,
my
you
favorite
guys
place
ever
in the
make
world.
You guys ever go all the way up north to Pittsburgh, like Moose Alley?
Yeah.
Love it up there. We
Yep.
got to go snowmobiling up there a couple times, and it's just, you don't realize how densely populated New Hampshire is with moose until you're up there, and you're like, oh, you can't go 10 minutes without seeing a moose on the side of the road.
Dude, I've still never seen a
What's your-
moose.
My oldest brother in high school, he was on his way home from a track meet. My oldest brother was a jock. He was the track star. He was the great baseball player, all that. So he's on his way home from a track meet. He hit a moose on 89. This would have been between exits 9 and 10, going south.
Uh-huh.
Hit a fucking moose. Took the top right off the car. He walked away without a scratch. Totaled the car. It was it was an 86 or 87 Monte Carlo, and you would have thought this thing was just put through a car crusher. No, it was just hitting a moose.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Dude, yeah. My
huge.
mom hit 2 mooses in a fucking minivan, dude. She said the first one was a Chrysler, the maroon Chrysler minivan that everybody's mom had in the fucking 90s thrown out. Yep. And it hit right on the corner where the headlight was, like running across, and she said it didn't even skip a step. Just got hit in the ass with a fucking minivan. It just kept on running. I saw one earlier this year, dropped my kids off up by Keene. But mooses are fucking nuts, dude. They're huge.
Yeah, dude, they'll charge a car and not even bat an eye about it. They'll ram your car and walk away.
They're very elusive. Like I see a deer a day. Actually, I almost ran a deer over today. I was driving my kids to school and I was like fucking with the radio. I looked up and there's a fucking deer on the road and I was like, shit. I gotta pay attention. I gotta get off my phone. But dude, when you see a moose, you're like, it makes you believe in Bigfoot.
Yeah.
It's so fucking big, dude. You're like, yeah, maybe Bigfoot is real because you never see moose around. They live around here, but you never see them.
Yeah. Dude, talk to Truth enough. You will, if you didn't before, he will convince you 100% without a doubt Bigfoot exists. And it's
Big
fucking
Truth?
awesome. Big Truth. Yeah,
I need
listen
some
to them go
convincing.
on about anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to be so into that shit when I was growing up, like aliens, Bigfoot, chupacabras. Like I wanted to be like a cryptozoologist, you know? But now I'm older and I haven't seen any of this shit. Never seen a ghost, never seen fucking anything supernatural. So I'm kind of like, I don't believe it until I see it. So if there's any spirits listening, fucking break some plates or show me something supernatural, man, because I stopped believing in Santa Claus, dude. It's sad. Have you seen
we
anything?
know Santa Claus isn't real.
Have you seen anything supernatural?
Um, I'd say yes. Can't confirm, but like where our house was in Warner, right up like our street used to be the main street in the town, and they literally packed up all the buildings and moved them to where like downtown currently is. But we're on a hill, and then at the top of the hill, there's an old like Civil War era cemetery. And I swear to God, you go up there at night, and weird shit happens, where you're hearing noises like next to you, and things are not there that can make those noises. That was it growing up. But then you drive around the country in the middle of the night. I definitely think I've seen things that are more than likely UFOs, or at least some sort of aircraft that nobody knows about. The weird moving lights in the sky that can't really explain. Seen shit like that. Going down across like the Gulf Coast and like down into like the Panhandle of Florida that way. Definitely see weird shit down in that area. But can't confirm what it was. But, I believe there is that shit out there, but I'm not one of those ones. I'm not digging deep into finding out what it is. But yeah, you see enough weird shit and you kind of let go of like, all right, it's not impossible.
Yeah.
And
I've
like
heard a lot of
here,
reputable
where
people, like reputable stories from people that I know closely. And so I know they're not lying, but at the same time, I'm like, did you really? You know what I mean? Like, could it have been something else?
Yeah. Yeah, you listen to some of the old crazy people, and you're like, all right, just go sit down and take a nap.
Yeah. I still love, I love a good ghost story and shit. And I love, Big Truth podcast, all the paranormal stuff. I listen to these people, and I'm kind of like, did you really see a Thunderbird? But then it's like, some of them are really reputable, and they're at the very least, like I don't know, maybe some people have that gift or whatever, that they can see fucking ghosts and talk to dead people and shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen one.
It's like nobody will know until there's 100% physical evidence where everybody goes, okay, it exists. But, I think at this point, ghosts, possibly, but you think, after how long humans have existed, there'd be some sort of physical evidence. All the weird animals and stuff, that's more of a possibility.
The other thing about ghosts, too, it's always like, there was ghosts from like the 1700s. Like, you don't have any ghosts being like, oh, skibbity toilet, and jumping out and scaring you, Like, where's the young ghost? Where's the contemporary ghosts? Well, we don't get a chance to haunt motherfuckers, dude?
The ghost waking you up in the middle of the night to ask what your Wi-Fi password is.
Yeah.
Do you have games
playing
on your
pranks
phone?
on you, dude? If I was a ghost, I would fuck with people, dude. I wouldn't be a serious ghost, I wouldn't try to help solve mysteries kind of ghost. I'd be like pranking people. Like when they're like pouring their coffee in the morning, I'd like pull down their pants, and they'd be like, "What the fuck? I'm not fucking with the cupboards, dude. You're getting pants."
It's like the movie, Michael J. Fox movie. I think it was called Frighteners.
Awesome movie, dude.
He's basically, just a con artist using ghosts to do all his dirty work. It's awesome.
I haven't seen
That's such a good movie. That one's I own that movie. I haven't thought about that movie in probably decades, dude. But that was a good one. Yeah. It's kind of creepy. It's kind of they have like good special effects and shit. Kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, definitely one of those ones. And he drove that old ass Volvo in it, where it's like of all cars to pick for a movie about, Ghost being just props in a big giant like Ponzi scheme. Oh, he's also driving around this old shit box like 1950s Volvo.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
it just fit the movie too perfect.
Yeah, I love a good ghost story.
Yeah.
What do you got behind you? What's this specimen?
This is a dirt stir I've been building for 3 years now. Finally got it back on the lift, trying to finish it. Yeah, so yeah. It's coming up next weekend's the Happy Valley Rally, which is a bunch of dudes on basically off-road sportsters. They do the Backwoods Discovery route that starts actually right up the road from my house. You know, like Chicken Rick and Tim Stat had that up. And been trying to get it done to do it one of these years, but it's one of those finding time to get it on the lift between other projects or just doing my job. And then what sucks about this is my bike trailer, I keep a lot of parts in, got broken into like a month ago. So about half the parts I have for that are evidence for a court case now. So I'm like, well, gotta wait to get all that shit back.
Fuck.
They caught
Or, like,
the guy and they got the fucking
caught-
shit back.
Yeah, I reported it on a Sunday morning when I realized, hey, somebody got my trailer. They took the stupidest shit. They leave the bikes, which thank God, but they took like just random tools. They took like a box of mini bike parts and then like another box that had a bunch of parts for this bike. Then they took like my little hydration backpack that I use for when I do off-road racing. It was like, they caught him the day after I reported it behind the county courthouse that's in our town. They got him on camera stealing rolls of wire out of the back of a utility truck behind a courthouse. Yeah, so the next day I got a phone call from the cops saying, hey, so we caught the guy. We got a warrant to go through his house, and they had me describe a few things. And they're like, all right, we think we have your stuff. So they had me go over and confirm it. And they're like, yeah. And they called the DA, and the DA is like, it's evidence. So they're like, we got to tag it and hold on to it for a little bit. It's like, all right. And then
Cool.
basically the cops were like, well, we don't have room. Can you store it at your place? But you can't use it because we might have to bring it to the courthouse to present it if it goes to trial. I was like, whatever, man, that's fine. So, but minor speed bump. Happy I got my shit back. Happy they caught the guy. Just kind of like, one of those like, what the fuck, dude. But
What are these people doing? They don't. What is? I don't understand lawfare, dude. Like, what the fuck? Like, they recovered the stolen property, and then they're like, we might need it for evidence. Take pictures of it.
They got pictures of it, but they have like. I'm not gonna argue with the law. Like, I've been in trouble with the law enough times in my life. I'm like, I will cooperate so I can get my shit back.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, they can go, it's our property now because it was stolen, so we have to hold on to it for evidence and never get it back.
Yeah. And then you see them, they build a dirt stir themselves, and they're whipping around town on a fucking. They put the blue lights on the dirt stir.
That'd be funny. It's they just come cruising up like whoop whoop whoop, like fuck you.
It's evidence.
Yeah. It's confiscated. It's ours now, fucker.
All the bike evidence.
The guy that, the guy that did it had just been out of prison for 2 weeks. He was on state parole, so they arrested him. And the story I got, they sent him to county jail with, wasn't able to get bailed out because he was on state parole. So he's been just sitting in jail waiting for a hearing, for a preliminary hearing, for like a month now, or might be 6 weeks. But the last time when he got arrested, he went away for a year. He stole a car, took the cops on a high-speed chase, ditched the car. They found him in his place, like shacked up, and they said he had just a shit ton of drugs, like not like just like weed or anything. Like they're like meth, coke, crack, you name it. I was like, oh, he's he's one of those guys. Like, sucks, but you know, hate seeing people get in trouble, but hopefully he gets himself figured out at some point and
Yeah.
gets out and lives. Because definitely, I mean, sure, we all know somebody who's gone away to prison for long lengths of time. Kind of sucks seeing people waste their lives away, you know, sitting in a cage.
Yeah.
But that's what it takes for people to get it together. You know, hopefully they figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, you can't steal shit. Like, you can't steal
No.
other people's shit.
No.
And then the other thing is
Yeah.
like, obviously didn't learn your lesson if you just got out of fucking jail and then you go right back to doing whatever it is you're doing for drugs. But hopefully he fucking sobers up in there and comes out and he's, you know, an apology would be nice. Maybe he comes by and he's like, Swiss, I'm sorry. I'm doing a lot of meth.
Dude,
Meth is not good for your mental health.
Was on a sick one and just needed to get that next fix.
Yeah.
I needed your water bag.
I know, that's a weird thing.
Here's your backpack back.
I understand the tools. Like I have a couple of buddies who their shit gets they lost a lot of tools. Those things you get a bag of tools, you go to a job site and you're selling those fucking Milwaukees for fucking $20-$50.
Oh yeah,
I'd buy one
and,
knowing it's hot.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, give me that, dude.
Yeah.
That
People aren't gonna ask questions.
No.
Yeah. He just give me
Swiss, tell us about getting into music, because I know you've been in a bunch of bands and shit. Tell us about that.
So, as I said earlier, I was in the high school band. I play the flute. And insert flute jokes here if you want. But, kind of always was drawn to music. My mother played piano. She made all of us pick an instrument, start learning in junior high. So both my older brothers played trumpet. I don't know why I picked the flute. I just didn't want to play the trumpet, so picked the flute. And then throughout high school, learned a bunch of other instruments. Learned saxophone, percussion, trombone. Started playing guitar. And, with that, just kind of that started the itch, and I was like, I think I want to try being in a band. Like our high school, we had one band. They were called Rubber Union. They play at Cafe Eclipse in Concord all the time. So started. That's when I got my license. Was able to go down there, start going to like small local shows and meet local musicians. But never really got into a band until I was like maybe 19 years old and playing with the shittiest musicians that you could think of to be in a punk band, which seemed fitting.
Yeah.
But never ended up really getting back then with people that, wanted to do things. They just wanted to like party. Like, me too. But I'd also like to play for people.
Yeah.
Then one of the girls I was in college with said, you got to meet my friend Jason. He lived over in Hopkinton. And she's like, he's this phenomenal guitarist and he plays in a band. I was like, oh, cool. And then
hold on, just one question. Yep. Were you playing the flute in these bands? Like, were you doing Jethro Tull shit?
No, in the punk bands, I was just playing guitar.
Okay.
Would have been a cool idea.
Are you like self-taught with guitar, or how'd you pick that up?
Yes. Guitar, self-taught, basic lessons from other friends and such, like learning chords and chord progressions, but I never learned like any of the guitar theory and any of that stuff. Once I learned how to play basic chords and power chords, I was like, I don't need to know anything else.
Good enough.
Like, I got this figured out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good enough for punk rock. Yeah. So, my friend Anna, who wanted me to meet her friend Jason, who was in a band. She worked at it was a Chinese restaurant in Bow, and she was a bartender there. So I went there one night, and she said, "Oh, my friend Jason's coming in." And so he comes in, and she introduces us. And I'm like half in the bag at the time, and he's like, "Yeah, we play metal." I'm like, "Fuck metal." And he was like, "We need a bass player. I don't care if you like metal or not. Come check us out." And I went to one of their practices, and they like blew me away with how talented these guys are. It's like, where the fuck have you been for like the past 5 years of my life?
Yeah.
So, like, I didn't have bass equipment. Jason did, so he loaned it to me. So, he helped me learn all the songs because, like, 2 weeks later, we played a show at the bomb shelter.
No shit.
I think it was just like, just a bunch of local bands. But basically, they did a local show to try and pick bands to open for Madball a few weeks after that. So, my second show playing a real venue, I'm with these guys, barely know these songs, and we're opening for Madball.
Holy fuck.
Which I was like, that's fucking awesome.
Dude.
Yeah. And then, so we just kept growing steam with that band. That band was called Below the Rise. Trying to come up with a band name. Basically, they're all arguing over it, and I just went and said, that one sounds the least shitty, so we'll just go with that one because we got a show in like 2 days. So let's just roll with that or change it later.
Yeah.
So we played 5-6 years, couple lineup changes. Like the singer we had at the time ended up becoming the drummer. We found another singer who was actually in my first punk band, who he also knew Jason from growing up because he lived in Hopkinton for a while, and then he moved out by, the whole whopping 10 minutes out by me and ended up going to high school with me. But we played Bomb Shelter all the time, got a little bigger. We played the Dover Brick House like every Wednesday for like a year, which was pretty cool. Yeah, like there we ended up playing with like Agnostic Front. I think we played with Darkbuster there, which was interesting.
That's sick.
Yeah, metal band opening for Darkbuster.
Oh.
That's where I met Lenny. I became friends with Lenny. That was like old Lenny.
Oh yeah! Shout out Lenny Lashley, the king.
Yeah, fucking love Lenny. Yeah, he is an inspiration to tackle life as it comes and just keep fighting forward.
100%.
Love that dude. Yeah, but then Jason and I wanted the tour. Nobody else really wanted to. So, like that band kind of calmed down a little bit, and I was getting the itch to get the fuck out of New Hampshire. So I kind of just started, trying to figure out a way to tour, even if it was just working for bands. So we went to the Nashua VFW to see Since the Flood play, and they were doing like a weekend run. So I talked to Dave Stobble, the guitarist. I was like, yo, I need to get the fuck out of here. You guys need somebody to sell merch for you. I was like, he's like, we can't pay anybody to sell merch. It's like, I don't want money. I just want to get out of here. He's like, talk to the rest of the band. He's like, all right, get in the van. So toured with them for a while. We did a bunch of cool tours with them. Because that was back when like hardcore bands, van and trailers playing like VFWs all over the country. Fucking, we played a body shop in Iowa, like broke as a joke touring, but it was so much fucking fun. Just sleeping on random people's floors every night. But yeah, they were supposed to tour with, first big tour I was supposed to do with them was going to be them opening for Ramallah. But Rob relapsed like the day before we left for tour and went into rehab like right away. So we ended up just going out on the road with the band Seven Star. And like every promoter was still like, yeah, fuck it, we'll still pay you to show up and play. So we did that tour. And like from that, we like went right into a Bury Your Dead tour, then right into a First Blood tour. And then they were like, all right, we're taking a break now. And I was like, fuck, now what do I do? Yeah, they were managed by Scott Lee. So he knew my schedule. He's like, hey, so since you're not touring with them, you want to go out with the Acacia Strain for their winter tour. I was like, all right. So then I ended up being Acacia Strain's tour manager, merch guy, and lighting director for 4.5, 5 years-ish.
Damn.
And yeah, that was a lot of fun, but all van and trailer touring, same thing, sleeping on random people's floors. But with that, I was like, fuck, I still want to get back into playing with bands. So it was just before I started working for the Acacia Strain, I was working for a company out in Ware, MDM Water Services, and they also owned a welding shop. And it was awesome because he'd let me come and go with touring, and the owner's son was in Below the Rise for a while, and kind of like hit him up, and he was like, I was like, I just want to do a fun project, nothing serious, just basic hardcore, maybe punk, just have fun. And he's like, he goes, I think Jason's looking for start another band. It's like, Jason's always looking for another band. So I call him, he goes, cool. We started kind of just, getting together, just writing riffs, having fun. And we got like 8 songs together. We ended up getting Corey Holt, who was a drummer for Black My Heart, to play drums for us because he was living in Nashua. And we're like, fuck, we need a singer. And we're like, well, he's been in every other fucking band to ever exist in like metal and hardcore. Let's ask Nate Johnson to be our singer. So Nate, in his voice, was like, I'll sing. So we became a super group because during that time, Jason ended up playing guitar for Since the Flood for a while. So we're like, oh, we got all these guys that have now officially played in notable bands, and me, who, like, I've never played in a notable band. I was just the guy that had the practice space in my mom's basement. So we called that band Goaltender. And our first show ever was opening for Lygia at Rocco's.
I think I was at that show.
Yeah, it was fucking chaos. Like, we roll in, Jason's playing through 2 full stacks. I'm playing through a full bass stack. The guy tries to set mics up. We're like, no. We're too loud for that. Kick drum, snare drum, center vocal. That's it.
No shit.
Dude, I think that's the wildest I've ever played. Like, I had a crowd response to me playing. Like, nobody knew shit about what we're playing, so we've never played for people before, but we had fucking people moshing all over the place, throwing bar stools around. I think some of the mirrors got broken that night.
I've told stories about this show, dude.
Dude, that show was fucking nuts. And then, like, and we opened, we're like band 1 of 6 or 1 of 5. Yeah. And we finish, and then there's Lygia going, how the fuck do we top that? I'm like, I don't know. You guys are the professionals. We're not even getting paid to be here.
That's so sick, dude.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, that was fun. Then we played there a bunch of other times. We opened for Cock Punch there.
Oh, that was
funny.
Punch.
Cock Punch. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I actually was... they only did short tours. I toured with them one time. They thought it was funny. Like, let's get the drunk asshole to be our merch guy selling straight edge band merch. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Vincent, the singer, was like, I'm gonna pay you in beer and just have you get drunk behind the merch table every night and sell T-shirts to straight edge kids. I was like,
sick.
Fuck it. That's my summer vacation.
That's awesome.
But
man,
yeah,
that was such a good time in music around here, the Roccos.
Oh yeah, that was like 2008 to 2010, 11.
So good, man.
Yeah, Roccos, like, fuck Dave, the promoter there.
Yeah.
He ripped so many bands off, but he put together some great lineups to have play there and got some great tours in there.
For sure.
But he fucked so many people over.
Pretty much everybody that worked for him ever, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fuck that dude.
But yeah, that Goaltender was the last band I played in. I think our last show was 2010 that I played with them. They did some other stuff without me when I was on the road. Nate ended up moving to Ohio. Corey, I don't know where he's living now, but he became a barber. He had a barber shop in Nashua.
Yeah,
Stay True Barbershop.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yep, Stay True Barbershop. And he also opened up another one in California, but I know his body's been jacked up. I know he had to get a bunch of surgeries. I think he sold them. He's still a barber, but I think he's out of the barbershop owning business. I may be wrong on that. Nate Johnson had a kid and disappeared into Ohio to be a dad. Jason started another band with a bunch of guys, American Burn.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like groove, sludgy, like hard rock. like comparable like Clutch type stuff.
Okay. Yep.
Good band, yeah, good band, but their main inspiration was Scissor Fight, so straight up New Hampshire boys playing straight up New Hampshire type music.
We tried to get them to play our motorcycle show, but they big timed us.
Dude, that would be sick, but I'm sure they probably asked a pretty penny.
We didn't ever actually.
We didn't even get that far.
Yeah.
That sucks.
You're like, fuck you, scrub. I love the band names that you're spitting out. What is the best band name in your opinion that you've ever heard?
Best band name? Like Cock Punch and Scissor Fight are pretty straightforward. And I wish they were still a band. See You Next Tuesday actually spelt out See You Next Tuesday because they wanted to name their band Cunt. But when they were getting ready to, put out albums, nobody would touch them. So they're like, let's just call the band See You Next Tuesday.
Like that. That's a good one.
So they're still, they just kind of played with that. But you go into the metal realm, you got Anal Cunt.
Yeah.
Anal Cunt's a great band name. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some too.
Yeah.
Anal Cunt's pretty fucking good.
Especially
That's a good name to call
like,
too.
that kind of like metalcore, especially that early 2000s kind of stuff. There was a bunch of really goofy, like what was the one?
Oh yeah.
Chunk, no Captain Chunk, and fucking. There's a bunch of like wicked. What was the other one? I wrestled a bear once.
Yeah, I wrestled a bear
Bunch
once.
of really weird band names.
Yeah. Yeah, then you got at the same time, like that was also the era for like absolutely shitty band names.
Yeah.
Like I think one of the shittiest band names I've ever heard was My Children, My Bride.
Dude, I used to love that band too.
And I will shit on that band because I tour managed them for one tour.
Yeah.
And it was absolute garbage. They co-headlined with the Red Chord.
Oh boy.
And the Red Chord blew them out of the water every night.
No shit.
Yeah.
What was the name?
Yeah.
My Children, My Bride?
Yeah.
Yes. And
Yeah,
My
they were
Children
a
is.
Christian.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Dan.
My
let's
Children
say-
is all one word, and My Bride is all one word. Like on the album, it's.
Yeah.
wicked.
Oh. Yeah, that's gay.
Yep.
I don't like
But
that.
they were Christian metal.
I didn't
Cool.
know that
I'm
until
like, oh,
way
cool.
after. I had no
Yep.
idea.
Yeah, and I'm like on tour with them. I'm like, okay, so every Sunday morning, I got to find these guys, like, whatever denomination church they need to go to. Like, oh, we don't go to church. Like, and then I find out, oh, we just pulled a Christian card to sell records and get a
Right.
record deal. I was like, oh, you're
That was
those
even
big
guys.
cooler.
back then. There was a lot of that.
Yeah,
back
I was like,
then.
hey, yeah, I was like, make that money, but pay me better now, because now I
Yeah.
know you guys are just fucking your people over.
For real. There was a lot
Yeah.
of bands that would just claim Christian. And I remember I remember going to shows and fests and stuff back then, and I think there was only like one band ever. And I'm not into religion or whatever, but I do remember this one band. I think they were For Today, where they
Yep.
like started to wrap up their set, or they had one more song left, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna be meeting out at our van, and we're gonna be like discussing scripture or whatever, like having a whole mass
Yep.
or whatever." And that was the first time any band that claimed being a Christian band was ever like, "Hey, we're Christian off stage too." So other than that, it seemed like it was just a fucking money grab.
Oh yeah, I remember we did. I ran into a few of them. So then this would have been, I think, 2009 when I was working for the Acacia Strain, which is just everybody thinks they're satanic, but they're just anti-religion.
Yeah.
Which I back because Vincent, he was raised Roman Catholic. I was raised Roman Catholic. We're both confirmed Catholics, and we both, as soon as we made our confirmations, were like, "Fuck religion."
Yep.
We ended up on the August Burns Red Constellation Tour. So for their album release tour, it was August Burns Red, Acacia Strain, My Children, My Bride, and Impending Doom. And then I think Gwen Stacy, which another one of those kind of awkward band names, but Gwen Stacy started a tour, they ended up dropping off because they couldn't hack being on the road that well, which I get. It's not easy. So we had 3 Christian bands in the Acacia Strain.
That's funny.
August Burns Red, Christian band, Christian metal band, big sweethearts. They don't throw it in your face, but, you know, a little bit of it on stage between songs, but not like 10 minutes on nonstop like some bands do.
Right.
But they do the same thing. We're like, hey, if anybody wants to get together after our set, you know, a couple of us be outside by our van, come say hi, you know, we'll talk to you. Impending Doom was the same way, where the singer was a minister, like if it's not like a ordained online minister, like an actual minister in his religion. And I think a couple of the guys in August Burns Red are now as well. But Impending Doom, same way, like their singer would sit on the side of the stage watching other bands, like with a Bible in his hand, reading the Bible, listening to metal bands.
Wow.
Like,
Dude,
he's legit.
You gotta keep that shit separated, you know? Like,
yeah.
don't mix your religion and your rock and roll, or your politics and your rock and roll, or whatever. Those are 2 separate things. Just like, you know, like comedy and sex. Those are 2 separate things, you know?
Nah,
you don't
fuck that.
stop when someone queefs.
Fuck that.
It's serious
disagree.
stuff.
I completely disagree.
Yeah,
Music is the place for that shit. Music is. I'm not a religious guy. Music is the place for all that shit. Music is the place to protest.
Did you see
Music
the
is the place to
beatboxing
say, I love
nun?
God, I love Satan. I love whatever the fuck. Music is the best place to do that.
Did
not
you see
fucking Facebook?
Did you see the beatboxing nun?
No, I haven't seen.
I did not, but I gotta see this now.
After we're done recording, just go beatboxing nun, dude. It's fire. It's wicked good. It's in like Brazil or something. Dude, she's good.
Okay.
Like, it's good. So in that case, maybe I'm wrong, you know? Maybe I'm wrong.
That like religion and music, or politics and music, it depends on the genre of music. And I'm one of those where I like what I like, I don't like what I like, and if what I don't like is on, I can turn it off. I don't go to their concerts if I don't like it.
Right.
You know, but then there's also bands like, I don't like their music, but I will go to their concerts, like ICP. Fucking ICP shows are fucking wild. Love them.
I
like
want
their
to go
music,
to one of
but
those
I would
really
go to
bad.
their show. Yep.
That
like
seems like a good time.
anything that, when you look at old rock and roll, especially throughout the 60s and 70s, a lot of it was political based. You know, that's where we got Neil Young. That's where we got John Denver. You know, Jefferson Airplane, Grateful Dead, all of that. Like, if you listen to the lyrics, not all of it's about it, but a lot of it is like politically driven music.
Yeah.
Trying to think of other Bob Dylan.
Big time Bob Dylan.
He was very politically driven.
Oh yeah.
You know, Willie Guthrie.
Yeah,
there's a lot of them out there. Yep.
Especially like the 60s and 70s and draft dodger stuff and all that. Or whatever. Music is the place to protest, I think.
All right, guys. I had to send you the beatboxing nuns. Let's just take I started a group on Instagram. It's so good.
I'll check it out.
We're gonna have to close out the show with the beatboxing nun. But I don't know. Hey, here's the thing: is for me, like music, I like fun music. I listen to music for fun, or because I'm angry, because I'm sad, or whatever. I don't really like the politics in it, and I don't really like the religion. I've never been a fan of Christian rock.
Yeah.
I mean, or maybe I have, and I just didn't like realize I was listening to it or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I think there was a Tom Petty quote, you know, that he was in an interview, and they're like, "Why don't you sing about like politics?" And he's like, "Why you want to sing about politics when you sing about rock and roll?" And I kind of like that kind of music. You guys like Tom Petty?
No.
You don't like Tom Petty?
I like Tom Petty.
Really?
Nah.
Show's over.
No free balling.
Don't like Tom Petty. I'm out of here.
Nah,
yeah, dude. Dan, you're off the show.
Some of that Americana rock, man, is totally missed on me. Tom Petty, like Bruce
I know what
Springsteen.
I'm adding to my playlist next week.
That's fine. It's not on my
fucking
playlist.
Heartbreakers, bro. I partied at Tom Petty's house in Gainesville. That was fun.
Nice. Yeah, the best part about music is it's universal. Like, you're gonna find stuff you like, no matter what it is. You're gonna find stuff you don't like, and you just don't have to listen to it. Like, when I'm putting music on, that if I'm like doing a drive, trust me, I'm not putting on anything political or religious. I'm like, give me some fucking speed metal that's just fucking fast paced and keep me awake. You know, when I'm listening to punk rock, I'm really never looking for give me that political punk band. I'm like, I'm gonna throw on some fucking No Effects because it's catchy and it's mostly gibberish of fucking lyrics. They have some political shit, but it's mostly just making fun of life's existence.
When you're driving in the tour bus, are you separated? Is there like a door behind you and you're in your own world and you like your own office, you can listen to whatever you want?
Yes and no. Some buses have a door, some it's just a big drape that you pull across. But there's also usually a jump seat, so they'll come up, and when you're rolling down the road, there's no smoking on the bus, so they'll come up in the jump seat. You crack the window so they can have a smoke while you're driving. But it's pretty easy to figure out when they're all going to bed, because like I love loud music when I'm driving. Excuse me, but be respectful when they're up, they're finishing out their day. They don't want to be listening to loud music because they just finished playing a show or loading out a band or whatever. So, you keep it on low, and then when you think everybody's gone to sleep, that's when you just kind of slowly keep turning it up. And as you notice nobody's saying anything, you can turn it up as loud as you want. And when they're in the back in the bunks, they got a solid doorway with the road noise and such. When they're in their bunks, they're not hearing anything up in your driver's area.
Yeah.
But I've definitely been blasting music before and have like somebody poke their head through and be like, I fucking love this band. I'm like, oh shit, where'd you come from?
Why aren't you playing our songs?
Yeah. Oh, hey, kiddo. Yeah, I had a couple guys, like Circus Survive is forever one of my favorite bands I've ever toured with and driven, and their crew is amazing. And I just remember one night there was two guys that stayed up all night, and they like came up at like 6 a.m. I'm like, how the fuck are you guys still asleep? They're like, you kept playing bangers, we couldn't go to bed yet. I'm like, holy shit.
That's
awesome.
I was like, and I played like, and it's funny because like I wouldn't catch them. I like Blood for Blood, Darkest Hour, like Slipknot, like not music that I would think that these guys would enjoy.
Yeah.
But then the one guy's like, dude, I used to go see Blood for Blood back in the 90s. I'm like, shit. Like,
That's
you're
sick.
a real one.
That's fucking awesome.
I was like, I got to see Blood for Blood's like second or third rendition like years later with like when Rob was out of the band.
Yeah.
That's
I never got to see Blood for
But
Blood.
yeah, I got to see them with Billy Biohazard, but I never got to see them with Rob. Yeah, at the Worcester Palladium.
Hell yeah. I was going to
think
say
they played
Palladium.
Metal Fest one year.
Oh, the Palladium was the best back then, man. I remember Scott started to do the New England, what was it, New England Metal Hardcore Fest?
New England Metal and Hardcore Festival.
Dude, that was so sick back in the day, man. I was in high school during that point, so that was like, I got a lot of my music inspiration from shit like that.
Is the Palladium, is that like the theater? It's kind of, they got like the balconies.
Yeah.
Okay, I've been there before. I saw Wu-Tang there.
Yeah, they got the big floor that, the floor's like got different tiers. So they got your big like pit area in front of the stage, and then they got the balcony. They got the small stage upstairs.
I went to a Wu-Tang concert. They kept on saying, "What's up, Boston?"
Yep.
And I was like,
Yep.
"I'm in Worcester, dude."
Yeah, and you get the right group up there, and they'll boo a band off stage if they say "Welcome to Boston" in Worcester.
Oh fuck
But
dude!
I actually worked at the Palladium as a stagehand, and then as a stage manager. Then later a day of show rep for like between tours because I was working for Scott Lee, so he was always the one when I was home. He's like, "Come work a show. You make $20 an hour to load bands and hang out all day." Like, all right. Metal Fest weekend always sucked because we'd get in at like 6 a.m. and by the time we're done loading out the headliner, it was like between 1 and 2 a.m. and we'd have to be right back at 6 a.m. the next morning. But they'd always get us hotel rooms at one of the hotels across the street. But other people are doing their nefarious stuff, and I'm just sitting there like chugging coffee and energy drinks to try and wake up and unload semi trucks at 6 in the morning.
Fuck.
Yeah, but like even with that, it's like getting paid to see some of those great bands. Like we had Megadeth headline one year at the Palladium. Yeah, that was when they were doing the Gigantor. But all the greats, seeing like can't tell you how many times I've seen like Killswitch headline there. Hatebreed played, had them headlining. We had Motorhead there one year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are
Metal
you
Fest
petting
was
a dog?
always great because. What's that?
Are you petting a dog? Oh
Very nice.
my god! Who we got here?
Hey, Mabel.
Oh, she's so
Oh,
fucking
puppy.
cute.
This is Mabel. She does
Hey,
not
Mabel.
like cameras.
Oh, she's a little shy.
No kidding.
Look at that fucking pink nose. I'm gonna
Yeah.
kiss
Hi,
that.
pretty girl. Hi. She really
want a
does
treat?
not like the camera.
She's
No.
turning her head.
No,
She's like,
I try to get a picture of us every morning to send to my girlfriend, and she will fight it. All right, here you go.
awesome pity, dude. How old?
Thank you. She's about 2. Got her last August. Friend of mine was going through a divorce. Couldn't take the dog. The wife didn't want the dog. So his initial idea is like, I'm just going to drag her out back and shoot her. Like, no, you fucking aren't. Like, I will take that dog.
That's fucked, dude.
Yeah, once I...
That guy's a
Yeah,
maniac.
I was like, no, I was like, dude, it's a sweetheart of a dog. She's housebroken. She was fixed, up to date on all her shots. I'm like, dude, put a post up online, and within a few days, somebody will take that dog. Yeah, but I had a feeling he may have been more of a, I want to have the coolness of owning a pit bull. And then when it came time to raise and take care of a pit bull, he was like, oh fuck, I got to take care of a pit bull. It's like,
Yep.
I've had 5 pit bulls. Yeah, she's my 5th pit bull that I've had. And like, especially when they're young, they're very, very attention hungry, and they have very bad separation anxiety. So you gotta learn to work with that. So like, when I'm at work, when I first got her, it was like, shit ton of toys, put the shoes up on a shelf so she can't get to them, and have a shitty couch, because the pit bull, when they're puppies, will find a couch to chew on. Yep.
They're very capable
And
dogs.
she's been...
They can chew,
Yeah.
they can jump, they can fucking. They're stout, dude. That's they
yeah.
do some damage. They're not used to living in houses.
No. No, she's great, friendly. Like, anybody that's brought their kids by here, she's walks right up to the kids, just sits down in front of them, wants to say hello. She doesn't like get aggressive. The only people she barks at are the delivery guys until they say hi to her, and she just stops.
Dude,
Like,
just like
last night, our FedEx delivery came super late. Didn't come till almost 7:00, and we were sitting on our porch, and I got just a piece of plywood I put over the steps. Oh, as soon as he backed in, she was over that piece of plywood and down the steps, and just sitting at his door, like barking, but just sitting, like, come say hi, motherfucker. I want you to pet me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's delivery drivers. They go to these houses. They don't know if it's friendly or not.
No.
And some
Yeah.
dogs are not friendly. And I've seen dudes like
No.
run. You
Yeah.
know.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like I know there's like I've met dogs where if they're in their house or in a fenced-in area, they are on guard
Oh, yeah.
unless their owner's around. But the minute their owner's around and their owner opens up a door, opens up a fence, calm as shit. They're like, okay, they're here. I don't have to do my job as a protector.
Yeah. I have guard goats. We let them. They always get out and they sleep on the front porch. So
Yeah.
they're not going to attack you, but if you're like trying to break into my house and you go up onto my porch and you see like 2 fucking like dairy goats, you're going to be like, am I dreaming? Like, I'm just going to go to the next side. I don't know what the fuck is going on here, but I am not.
Yeah,
I don't want to see what's on the inside of the house. If this is what's outside.
Yeah.
Like, I've read 3 Billy Goats Gruff. I'm not fucking with this guy.
Meanwhile, they're just gonna lick the salt off your car.
Dude, I love that shit. You know the dirt. You're a New Hampshire guy, so you're from Warner, so you're out by me. You're out like in my neck of the woods, right? So in the wintertime, you have to have a bin of the rock salt and the sand mixed together.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because otherwise you're not going to
Yep.
be able to get out of your driveway. I have one of those, and the goats go up and they just fucking eat it, dude, like cereal. They're just munching on
Yep.
sand and salt, dude. Idiots.
Dude, fucking our road in the wintertime, so dirt road up a hill, and then our driveway was a turn up another hill up the driveway.
Yeah.
None of us had 4-wheel drive vehicles. We couldn't, back then, we couldn't afford them.
Yep.
We would have to haul ass. You know, I had my first vehicle that was street legal was I think it was like a 91 Toyota pickup, rear wheel drive. You know, sandbags stacked in the back to get the weight for the traction. Rip up the hill, turn around, and get a running start to hope you make it up the driveway. Half the times we'd miss the chute, just park it in the ditch. Be like, all right, wait for somebody else to come by and pull us out of the ditch. Try it again.
Say we never all growing up, dude. Never 4-wheel drive. It didn't exist. It was like cars didn't come equipped with all-wheel drive or any of that shit. So yeah, you'd get a running start. You'd make it to the very top, and then you'd start sliding backwards.
Yeah.
And during the wintertime, you'd park at the bottom of the driveway and just walk up.
Yep. Oh yeah. Like our road was one of the last ones in the town to get plowed. Like we'd park our trucks down, or cars and trucks down at our neighbor's house at the bottom of the hill. And just hike up to go home.
Yep.
10 o'clock at night after a shift at McDonald's, I'm not trying to fucking park this thing in a ditch. I'll walk the quarter mile up the hill and call it a night.
Sometimes it was hard to walk up.
Yep.
You'd be in there in your fucking DC skate shoes, like slipping like a motherfucker, you know? Yes.
Yeah, van slip-ons were not the decision for this weather.
Nah, dude. We didn't wear boots up here. We're always this fucking skate shoes and shit. What do you got?
Boots, we could.
Oh yeah, there's no boots, dude. Boots, too expensive.
No.
What do you got?
I've never.
Go ahead.
I've never owned a proper pair of winter boots.
Oh yeah. No.
Just Walmart brand.
Yep.
What do you got coming up? I know you travel a bit. You go to shows sometimes. What do you? What's coming up in the near future?
Near future, this year is actually going to be pretty lax for me. Like I went to Mama Tried during the wintertime. I was going to go out to the homecoming rally. So I got a FXR I'm hoping to have finished by then. It's at my buddy's exhaust shop because that's the one thing I can't do on my own is build an exhaust. Still got to paint the tins where I got talked into by enough people like just do it your fucking self. Like
do it.
You paint they're like you can paint bumpers on buses, you can paint a bike. I'm like, all right.
Yep.
You know, so was hoping to have that done in time to go out there and just put it in like the ride-in shows because I know like V-Twin Visionary always does a ride-in show at the homecoming rally. So I had tickets for that, and then my friends tell me they're getting out in Wisconsin. They're getting married 2 weeks later. They're like, well, we picked a date between the homecoming rally and Sturgis. I'm like, fuck, like I can't do both. Like in July, I can't make both those trips. So like, fuck it. Like I can go to bike events. My good friends, I'm only going to see them get married hopefully once. So like, I'll just go to the wedding instead. Then, financially, I'm just trying to squirrel away a bunch of money. Got things coming up I want to be able to just comfortably take care of. Like beginning of the year, I used to own one of the buses we run. I sold it. Like I'm looking to get out of the bus industry. I'm kind of burnt out on it. So just kind of trying to plan financially for some ideas I got going on. Potentially, might be making a move to the Midwest. Kind of nothing's set in stone right now, but it is. I'm just trying not to get too many people involved right now with what I got going on with that. But hopefully with that, I can expand doing more powder coatings. I do that little stuff on the sides. I think the only other thing I'm committed to going to this year right now is in September. They're doing a Hooligan 100 race down at Loretta Lynn's Ranch in September.
Oh, fuck.
So that, yep. So I'm gonna go down to that because the week after that, I got Volvo engine training in Nashville because Prevo's got a facility down there. So I'm like, okay, the weekend before, so I can just leave like 3 days early, hit that, and most of that trip will be paid for through business expenses.
There you go.
And then based on when I can get that FXR buttoned up, I'm like, well, since the homecoming rally's out, I might try to make it to Born Free Texas with it. Not gonna put my eggs all in one basket for that. Obviously, I want to do the best job I can with this bike and not give a hard deadline on it. But if I get that done, I'm like, I'll definitely go to Born Free Texas. If I don't have it done, I probably won't be going to anything else unless something else cool pops up a little closer until probably Mama Try next year.
Nice.
But yeah, it's a shitty part of being an adult is trying to plan for somewhat of a future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever travel back to New Hampshire, see old friends and family or anything?
When I can, I haven't been back since 2022. I think it was like fall of 22 was the last time I was out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I definitely want to get back out there. It's just, fortunately with what all my job is right now, work definitely is my priority. Taking care of the buses. Unfortunately, beginning of this year, we had the only guy that could do a majority of what I do mechanically. He packed up and left and moved to Florida. So I'm like, fuck. And then my boss was like, yeah. He's like, I don't think I want to hire anybody else. So I'm like, double fuck. I'm like, all right, enjoy the overtime. And then
that's what fucked up. Well, like, yeah, I know that this used to be two guys' job, but now it's just going to be yours.
Yeah, it's going to be your job. Yeah, so I was like, you know what? Take the overtime, stack the money. I'm like, it kind of blessing in disguise where I was like, well, make more money right now, make everything else I want to do a little bit more easier, a little bit more comfortable to make any transitions I got to do.
Yeah, I got two things real quick is, number one, if you ever come back up to New Hampshire, hit us up so we can all hang out. And we'll commiserate and be nostalgic about growing up in New Hampshire in the 90s. And then the second thing is, you mentioned Prevost for the buses or whatever, right? Prevost.
Yep.
I've been pronouncing that wrong my whole life. I see those on the. I'm like, oh, it's Prevost.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying.
Yeah, it's Prevost.
Yeah,
it's French.
The T is silent.
Made right up it. The T is silent. Yep.
And the S is silent.
Quebec. Yep. Prevost.
Fucking A, dude. They just need to start spelling shit fucking phonetically. All right, dude. We're almost at fucking 2 hours here, so we got to shut it down.
Sure.
But stick around, dude. It was awesome talking to you. We got to have you back on because we barely talked about bikes. We talked a lot about music. And I definitely want to see what you guys what you got going on and all that shit. Is there anything that we didn't touch on that you wanted to? Do you have any more celebrity tea?
like who accidentally OD'd on my bus one time?
Oh fuck!
We could probably discuss some of that shit off air. Like I said, some of that stuff, I'm not in a position to air out some people's dirty laundry unless they fucked me. And even then, I'm like, I don't need karma to come around and bite me in the ass.
Yeah.
Oh, one more thing I have to do before we go. Yep. Swiss Cheeks hooked it up with some Malort. Yeah. And I believe you said you actually like this stuff, or you grew to love it.
I fucking love Malort. It is everybody thinks it's disgusting. I love it, but I'm open about it. I am a recovering alcoholic, so I quit drinking almost 2 years ago.
Oh, good.
So, yep. And I definitely don't miss being drunk at all anymore because I was a blackout drinker. Like anytime I drank, I was blacked out. Like didn't take me much to get there. But the flavor of Malort, if they can make a non-alcoholic version, I would be buying it.
They make candy.
They make candy?
They do make candy. I tried to get some, but when I went to go order, it was sold out already.
Oh, no shit.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to keep an eye out for that.
I saw that. There's that dude. I think I sent it to you, Rhino. There's the dude, I think it's Rob's Films on Instagram. He does different shit. He likes weird things into espresso and freeze dries and or whatever. And he did a Malort one. He did Malort ice cream. It was Malort flavored ice cream with the Malort candies. He did a bunch of crushed up Malort candies, and it looked really good. But yeah, I'm sure it tasted like chemicals still.
I'm gonna try to get some of those. I'm definitely gonna be drinking some of this on our way to Ohio. I'm bringing it. You got the six pack, the nips. This is awesome, dude.
Yep.
For people just to try it out. So super appreciate
Yep.
that, dude. And like I said,
You're
we
very
gotta have
welcome,
you
man.
back on because this was fun as hell, dude. And hopefully our paths cross at one of these shows someday, or if you come up for fucking Christmas or Thanksgiving or some shit, hit me up. I'm right around the corner. And yeah, dude, thanks for coming on, man. This was
Dude,
fun.
thanks for happening. Yeah, definitely. Whenever you guys want, hit me up. I'd love to be back on. We can actually talk more bike stuff because obviously we barely talked about bikes, and I'm like, that's one of 5 builds I have laying around. Flat track, my flat track bike, 83 FXR, 03 Dyna, and my 88 FXR. So got some cool shit I can share and discuss about all those bikes.
Yeah, definitely, dude. Yeah, we'll have you back on at some point. All right, dudes. I'm gonna shut her down.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna be listening to this. Me and Dan are gonna be, I don't know, probably somewhere in fucking New York, upstate New York, on our way to fucking party at the Penn East. And I'm gonna be packing Malort. I'm gonna trick some people. I might get the shit beaten out of me because I'm gonna trick people into drinking Malort. And I'm going to be like, oh, you guys like good scotch? You got to try this. And I guarantee they've never heard of it before. But until next week, Lowlives, get in the garage, finish up those bikes, get in trouble, drink some Malort, black out, have fun, and don't you ever stop chopping. All right. Deadbeat Customs. Steve over at Deadbeat Customs is about grassroots motorcycle riders who take it upon themselves to build and customize their bike. They offer parts for all Harley-Davidson models and also custom parts for choppers, bobbers, trackers, and cafe racers. When it comes to building a custom motorcycle, they carry the best brands available. Go visit their brick and mortar store in Tewksbury, Mass, or at deadbeatcustoms.com. Remember, enter Lowlife at checkout and save some loot. Stay strong, Co. Sean Luke has been sent down from the heavens to bless us lowlifes with the greatest motherfucking hot sauce in the world. Sweet heat baby Jesus in the white pants heralds a message from God himself. This hot sauce is for your food. Keep it off your butthole. The shits, in the hotter than hellfire lowlife chopper sauce. Go to staystrongco.org today and grab yourself the holy trinity of hot sauces. Oxford Co. Choppers. Chris is the original bad boy from Oxford, Connecticut. From frame restoration and repair to handlebars and hardtails. Hard parts for hard men. His hardtails are expertly TIG welded and installed in-house. Made of USA-made steel, cast axle plates, he is your man for the hardest shit to hit the East Coast since Hurricane Bob. Find him on Instagram at oxfordco.choppers. Steel City Blacksmithing. Josh specializes in handcrafted steel work right outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Anything from custom motorcycle parts to hammers and tomahawks. Don't get it twisted. If it can be twisted, he's twisting it. Check him out at steelcityblacksmithing.com today. Beck Built Fab. Dustin is the plug for excess chopper parts. That's why we call him the Metric Man. Drum disc brakes, bid controls, hand shifters, foot clutch, modded worm gears, intakes, and more. He can do any fabrication job, weld repair, upholstery, or even maintenance. Check him out at beckbuiltfab.com.